Well, I'd like to welcome back Dr. Trin with us today. And of course, he's with Irvine Clinical Research, healthybrainclub.com. And Iggy has brought along guest Lisa Thurman from Global Alzheimer's Platform Foundation.
I know. Melvin.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Happy to have you here today. And what we're talking about, there's some advanced clinical trials, Dr. Trin, and it's called Trailblazer. So tell me about that.
Yes. So, in the history of clinical trials with Alzheimer's, we've all heard about the plaque that's in the brain. And in the history of clinical trials, the medicines that are developed to try to address this plaque have always been targeting two different mechanisms. The first mechanism is, how do you stop new plaque from being produced?
Okay.
Right? How do you stop new plaque from forming and depositing in the brain? So we have medicines that address that.
Okay.
The second mechanism in our clinical trials with other types of medicines being used is, how do you remove the plaque that's already there?
Right.
And so you have a slew of medications addressing that. So a group of medicines addressing how to stop new plaque, and another group of meds addressing how to remove existing plaque. We now have, essentially for the first time, through Trailblazer, a clinical study that addresses both at the same time.
That's
and it
great.
makes complete sense.
Yeah.
It makes complete sense. And so Lisa represents an organization that helps us essentially to have patients participate in clinical trials.
So what does your organization do and where is it based?
The Global Alzheimer's Platform Foundation is a non-for-profit based out of DC.
Okay.
It was essentially created to speed the delivery of innovative therapies by reducing the time and cost of conducting Alzheimer's dementia clinical trials. Critical to our success and what we're trying to do is our Global Alzheimer's Platform Network, or the GAPNet, and essentially that is over 65 clinical research centers in the US and Canada, Irvine Clinical being one of them, and we collaborate to do memory screening, community outreach, essentially community education, as well as physician education.
So are you sort of an organization that you match potential folks with these trials throughout the country based on where they live and...
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Dr. Trin, he speaks out in the community on our behalf as well as for community education and on brain health. And we're trying to really educate on clinical research and what it is, because that's the big question. And that's the big hurdle is our job is to really educate the community on what advancements are being done and what Alzheimer's and dementia clinical research really are.
And Dr. Trin, we've talked about this before when it comes to clinical trials, any clinical trial, it doesn't matter what it is. They're costly, they're time consuming, and the factors vary person to person. You can't take 1,000 folks, isolate them, all give them the exact same diet, the same exercise, the same routine every day. That would really give you, an absolute number, so to speak. People are going to go home, eat what they want, some will exercise, regardless of what they tell you. You know that. And so, getting really accurate results sometimes is difficult.
Yes, and that's really the purpose of a clinical trial, is to measure what you can measure and to put patients into groups or populations where at least the parameters that you're measuring are equal or looks the same. So if you have a group of patients taking a medication, we're looking for groups of patients who have a certain range of memory loss, and you want to sort out who has memory loss in that range. We're looking for patients who have the plaque, right? Because if you don't have the plaque, then why be, then there's no point of trying to remove the plaque if it's not there. So we identify patients in as controlled of a research environment as possible, knowing that there are factors that you cannot control, diet and nutrition and other things. But this is what's set up to do a clinical trial and to get as accurate of results as you can.
Yeah.
And it's a process for the FDA, really, to get these meds through.
And Lisa, is this, you know, you kind of match these folks, but do you pre-screen them to make sure you're matching the right potential people with the type of trial that's being done?
The site actually pre-screens them, which
Okay.
is really kind of wonderful. There are many research sites in Orange County. We support many of them in Alzheimer's and dementia research. The nice part is that we do it by geographic location. We can really essentially send the potential or interested individual to a research center that's local to their home.
Okay.
Mostly because it's a commitment. It really
Yeah.
is. You have to commit, but so does your partner, the person that's going to be involved in the study with you. And that's really key, is that we want to make it as easy as possible.
The people that do these trials, are they compensated in some way? I mean, I
For
can't,
their
you know,
time and travel,
okay, yeah,
absolutely.
I'm sure they're not, especially if they're in certain stages of Alzheimer's, they're not worried about making money at this point.
It's about the participation, yes, and finding a cure.
Right. But still the travel there.
Absolutely,
and
the
things
time
like
and
that.
travel. They, you know, the nice part is that a lot of these Alzheimer's and dementia studies, they offer services like Lyft to help the potential patient or potential party to get to their appointments, and that can always be difficult.
And Dr. Trim, once they get there, what are some of the things that they go through? How long does it take? Is it beyond the medication or whatever that you might be giving them? Are you spending an hour with them just doing brain scans and things like that?
Right. Typically, a patient who is interested or concerned about their memory, they would schedule a consultation with me.
Okay.
And that's a no-cost consultation.
Yeah, we have that number on the screen.
And so we would review their medications, their medical history, their surgeries. We'll do a complimentary memory test to see where they're at. And based on those types of results, we will look through and see if they are a candidate for a clinical trial. But you know, whether a patient is a candidate or not, it wouldn't matter, because we provide the education to maximize or optimize your brain health. We'll talk about diet. We'll talk about the plant-based brain health diet. We'll talk about exercise. We'll talk about all the factors that you can do to help and your brain function without taking an extra pill. So the research opportunity is there, but really they're there for the education to learn on how we can help with their brain health.
And I know that, I know how passionate Dr. Trin is in this, but as you said, you work with other organizations within this area. You're personally based in this area then?
Yes, I am.
And obviously you're the foundation throughout the country, and they're all working together to find a common cure.
Absolutely, it's a collaborative effort, not just with Irvine Clinical, but other sites locally. We partner with the Alzheimer's Orange County group, Alzheimer's Association. It really is a collaborative effort to not just educate the community, but educate primary care physicians as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting the disease too late. We gotta start looking at the symptoms and how we can access these potential people or individuals who are afflicted earlier.
Yeah, and maybe one day there'll be some sort of preventative vaccine, and you know, we're given to people that you can see there's a family history of, like we do with some cancers now and other diseases as well.
Exactly. Actually, within the last 2 months, there's been at least 2 to 3 reports published showing some really good hope on the ability to remove and reduce these plaques.
Yeah.
And that's been just in the last few months. So we're very hopeful. And I'm very hopeful with the Trailblazer study, because it's the first combination treatment I've seen to offer both removing plaque and stopping new production. makes perfect sense to me.
It does. Well, thank you
It's
both for
exciting.
coming on. Nice to meet you.
Pleasure.
I know I'll see Iggy and
Yeah.
fairly soon. Always good to see you.
Thank you for having
The
me.
numbers on the screen, if you would like a free consultation, is 949-753-1663, or you can go to healthybrilliantcrowd.com and get more information there. Thank you both. We'll be right back.